Good evening, everybody. This is Rick Concoff's Coffee House. And we're going a second time around with Ian Lubar, my friend, my colleague, my fellow musician. My phones are going off. Uh, let's see if I can get that stopped. And a musician of many, many years. As a matter of fact, Ian, I was looking over YouTube today for something to advertise for you, and I found some stuff way back in 2011, and nice stuff.
Thanks.
Ian's a working musician. Ian, I'd like to ask,
Yeah.
those curveball questions. So I'm going to ask you a question, and then I'd love to hear you start off with a song. I'd like to remind everybody, oh, what happened here? We lost our banner, didn't we? We gotta get you make sure I put the right one. We don't want them sending the money to the wrong person. That would never work. Let's see. All right. Whoops. There we go. Okay. Anytime you feel like it tonight, we want to send Ian to summer camp this year. He's never been to camp, and he wants to be in the bunkhouse with the guys, and doing all that stuff that you do at camp. So contributing towards the Ian Lubar Camp Scholarship Fund by visiting his Venmo and leaving him a little bit or his PayPal. Meanwhile, Ian, here's the magic question.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to like this or not.
All right.
Tell us about your day.
My
What
day.
was what's a day in the life of a musician? And if today was a bummer, go for yesterday.
Sure.
What,
Uh,
what does that look like?
yeah. So I mean, during this time, uh, let's see. I had a couple students this morning on
Mm-hmm.
Zoom, and then the battery in my car was dead, so uh, my landlord has this charger thing that he leaves over at my house, so I can just plug it in and charge my car, which is kind of cool.
Awesome.
And so did that. I took my dog on a walk for about an hour, made lunch, practiced a bunch, sent out some booking stuff because I'm starting to gig again, um, and watched a little Star Trek, and that's about it.
All right. Day in the life of a musician. I love all the parts of it.
Yeah.
We have a generation of young people that no longer have to live in a duality of it's either this or it's that.
Right.
I remember, going to gigs. I'm sure you've experienced this. You play at a nice gig. People come, boy, you boys play really nicely. What do you really do?
Yeah.
And that's the classic question. And I love to ask that questions of doctors and lawyers and such. What do you guys really do? Because what
Right.
we really do is what we freaking really do. And music is in our blood and in our heart. I still see people performing, and I get jealous that I want to be up there. And hopefully, soon we'll be able to be doing some live concerts.
Definitely.
If you ever come in town, we could probably set one up for you. So yeah, musician's life, for sure. Like a lot of people, especially during pandemic. Um, I don't know about you, Ian, but I got better. I had lots of time to practice, and Ian
Yeah.
does these YouTubes every day, or close to every day, where he just diddles and ditties on the guitar, and it's almost like entering the inner sanctum of a musician's life.
Yeah.
Beautiful guitar. I bet you've been going steady with it for a while.
Yeah. I've had this guitar now since I was 17. So
And has it made a difference? Is it part of who you are?
yeah. This was a graduation gift from my parents.
Hmm.
My dad said to me, he said, I can get you a class ring, or I can get you a guitar. And or I could get you this guitar, and I was like, I'll take the guitar. Like, I'll get you a ring if you get me.
Oh yeah. That must have been an easy decision. I love that.
Yeah, and so this like, and for a long time, like my dad always called this like his guitar, and
Right.
I always kind of agreed to that.
Yeah.
But since he passed, it's definitely uh, specifically I've kind of made it my main guitar, which I've always wanted to do. It always needed a little bit of work because it is old. It's about 50. I guess it's 53 years old now.
Wow.
And,
Nice.
the frets were really worn down, and so I had to get it like refretted, and I've had it like a full setup and all this stuff, and then it was, it cost some money, but like it really made a big difference, and I was able to really start gigging with it, and it's basically.
I can tell when you play it, you just slide around so beautifully.
Thanks.
I'm going to give you the microphone and let you play a little tune.
Sounds good.
And let you just take it away for a few minutes and take us away.
Cool. So this is a song I've never played live before. Here we go. I've been feeling like a teenage lobotomy addict, stuck inside my brain, inside a fantasy addict. Just need to find some peace and quiet, a little static. It feels a little tragic, the need to find some magic. Sick like a dog that's been beaten, ignored, and abandoned. There's something inside my head that I feel like is cramping. Just need to find a way to smile, laugh, cheer, and blend in. Really wish I could be bad, but all I got are bland sins. All I got are bland sins. I can lose and I'm not gonna win. Life's been good, life's been bad. Don't think it's been wasting. Once I was lost, but now I'm found. Just need to find a place with a little less sound, a little less sound. Not gonna lose and I'm not gonna win. Life's been good, life's been bad. Don't think it's been wasting. Once I was lost, but now I'm found. I just need to find a place with a little less sound, a little less sound.
Nice. Thank you so much. Is that an original tune?
That is, yeah.
What do you call it?
It's called Teenage Lobotomy Addict.
Okay. I love it.
I just remember I actually wrote those lyrics like 2 years ago, and I like to just experiment with songwriting. So like the verses are written in groups of 15 syllables or 14. It's either 14 or 15 syllables. And I just picked a random number and saw what happened, and it makes you kind of like create melodies a different way,
Yeah.
and so I hadn't thought about it in a long time. I was like, oh, I should just try playing that tonight. So anyway, there you go. That was the world premiere.
It's a little bit like an early vintage rap song.
Yeah,
In
it's
that
been
this
influenced by a lot of like hip hop stuff for sure.
absolutely. I wanted to also say that it's so interesting because I recently found an old song, and I play the song all the time. It's an
Uh-huh.
instrumental. It's called Wash Cycle, and it replicates the rhythm of a washing machine, which is kind of like it goes and then it just stops. You know how washing machines stop, and then
Yeah,
you think your load's done, and then they start up again.
right.
And I so so I wrote that song, but there was always a second section, and we're talking about 1980, 1978 or 79, something like that. Anyway, I just realized in the last couple of days that that section belongs to another song that I'm working on now. So there really doesn't have to be rules. Um,
No.
it's our jigsaw puzzle,
Yeah, definitely.
right? We make the cuts.
If anyone's ever seen Bob Dylan in the past 20 years, he turned all of his songs into blues. So, you know.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So hit us with another. Anything you
Cool.
feel like. That's what I like about Ian. I think he's got a big, gigantic repertoire, and I think he just plucks them out and does them.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you have a little set list in mind, but I like the spontaneity.
This is one from the last EP that I did with my band Mount Thelonious, and it's called Drunk.
Okay. And Malthelonius, give us just a little bit of background on that.
Yeah, it's a trio. It's me on guitar, and a bass player and a violin player, and we kind of do. Um, mostly play acoustic with that band, but we kind of do folk-ish music. I think we were calling it like indie folk or modern folk for a while. We didn't use like a lot of the basic like folk rhythms, and a lot of like pop music sort of songwriting.
Nice.
Um,
Nice.
so anyway,
I
this
love the blend.
one's called Drunk. I showed up drunk just to feel a little fine. It helps me out when I wanna speak my mind. When I wanna speak my mind. Forgot who I was last night in my haze. I drank too much and I lost my way. And I lost my way. And I feel free at 15 degrees. My own voice following me. Yeah, I feel free at 15 degrees. My echo voice following me. Yes, it's following me. Following me. Look for me down Market Street. I'm a one-man parade. Listen to my voice now. I've gone insane. Now I've gone insane. Yeah, I feel free at 15 degrees. My voice far following me. Following me.
I especially like that song.
Thank you.
Beautiful chords. Of course, I'm sitting here arranging it in my head as you're
Yeah.
playing it, adding wow. You want to know what I added to that in my head?
What do you add?
I added an oboe, English horn, uh, bassoon trio.
Sure. That would
And I
be
just thought that would just slip right in there.
in
Uh,
the recording. We actually had a friend of ours come and play this really nice sort of mellowy organ, like
nice.
um, along with the acoustic guitar, and it kind of because I think that we're hearing the same thing. That sort of having those warm pads in the background, kind of for sure.
You know what's kind of a touching story about instruments and about playing is that now, of course, we have lots of sampled music,
Right.
and you know, for myself, I really enjoy it. I enjoy that modality of creativity,
Yeah.
and this is so cool and sad. I haven't had a student who went. What high school did you go to? Santa Rosa?
No, I grew up in Petaluma.
Oh, you got in Petaluma. Okay, well, I had a student who went to Summerfield and then she went to Annalee High,
Okay.
and her name was Sonia, and she's a beautiful cello player. You're 32, 31,
30.
32? Okay, and she was 32, and I went and saw her playing at a concert right out here in Occidental. Just incredible music, and shortly thereafter, um, she found out she had brain cancer, and she passed away about a year, a year and January, so a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I visited her a number of times in those hard, difficult moments. And she told me that she had recorded a bunch of cello music notes for a guy who collects samples. So I've been searching for that guy because it means that I can actually sample some of her cello into my music.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And I call it, it's kind of like musical DNA, and it would be really sweet when someone says, someone's here in spirit, and I know that you went through a lot in your dad's passing. May his memory be for a blessing. And the losses are incredible, and yet his neshama, what we call neshama in Hebrew, his soul lives in your guitar, I'm sure,
Yeah.
and it's really sweet. That song, especially, um, it was easy for me to just escape and into it and escape into the feeling of that song. So what? And you call it drunk?
Yeah. So the story behind it is uh, it's after
We're all friends here. So
yeah after it was probably about 6 months after my dad had died. So it was winter here in St. Louis, and I was hanging out with a friend I hadn't seen in a while downtown, in downtown St. Louis, and I don't live downtown. At the time, I was living about, I don't know, probably about 3 or 4 miles from downtown.
mm-hmm.
And well, we were hanging out, and I just ended up drinking too much, and then like I was gonna call an Uber, and my phone died, and I was drunk, and I remember just thinking to myself, "Screw it, I'll walk home," which wasn't a good idea because it was, as in the chorus, it was 15 degrees outside, and I had to walk for 4 miles, and it's definitely like it was like a Monday, so there weren't too many people out, but it can, like I ended up walking to some weird places in the middle of the night. I probably shouldn't have been, but
Right.
um, but what was interesting is having this walk just totally alone in the silence of downtown St. Louis on a Monday night because there's nothing happening. It's completely silent. I was drunk, and so I started singing to keep myself company, and my voice would actually echo in the buildings. And it was this very like nostalgic moment, and this very it just like meant a lot to me, like having this moment, and I felt like it was almost one of the first times where I really felt like some part of me was able to heal a little bit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it took me about 3.5 hours to get home, and I remember just seeing that was also the first time like I really in my head was just like aware of how lucky I was to have a house and a roof, because there were just like, you know, people who didn't have anywhere to stay, who were just like huddled on grates, just like trying to like get some of the hot air coming out of the, you know, the sewer. And anyway, but anyway,
Yeah, you know that's an interesting story, and I was thinking about, don't they call that next morning the walk of shame?
yeah,
Have you heard of that? And you have to walk and get your car,
yeah,
but you did a good thing
yeah,
because you didn't put anybody at risk, and you had an experience for yourself, and one that was marked by the channeling of a song, and
yeah.
I heard that, and especially there's one note in there where your voice really, your vocal cords really vibrate nicely and naturally,
Thanks.
with the in the spirit of the song. And so songs are, it's interesting. Music's a time machine,
Definitely.
because I was out front watering the lawn. It's very hot here today. I was watering the lawn, trying to water a little bit, and I was listening to Jackson Brown, which is someone I listened to when I was in high school.
Right.
And I heard Doctor My Eyes, which was his first hit. And I heard The Pretender, which was, I think his second or third album. And it transported me. I could have been out there watering my lawn in the 1960s or 70s and listening to Jackson Brown on my transistor radio, because I was listening on my phone, that little sound. So yeah, I hear you. Beautiful song, and lovely chords. Really nice. And when
Thanks.
you say you're recording it, is that EP available for people to seek
Yeah.
out?
Yeah, if you go on to Spotify, YouTube, any of the streaming services, it's all there. For
Nice,
Mount Thelonious.
nice. I'll be visiting that for sure.
Cool. Yeah, I'll send you a link.
So wow, I'm ready for another song.
Cool. All right. Well, let's. I'm gonna do a cover now. I think I did this one
Okay.
last. I like doing this one. I see your eyes in the morning sun. I see you touch me in the pouring rain. And the moment that you wander far from me, I wanna feel you in my arms again. Then you come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm and love. Then you softly leave, and it's me you need to show. How deep is your love? Your love, how deep is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down, and they all should Well, I believe in you. You know the door to my very soul. You're the light in my deepest, darkest hour. You're my savior when I fall. And you may not think that I care for you, but you know down inside that I really do. And it's me you need to show. How deep is your love, your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down, and they all should let us be. We belong to you and me. How deep is your love, your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn, 'cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down, and they all should let us be. We belong to you and me.
Nice. I love that song. It takes me back because my music partner and I, Ron, and I played gigs in the Marin community back in the 70s. And we started playing bar mitzvahs and weddings, and everything was going fine. Yeah. And then the DJs started with Staying Alive with the Bee Gees.
Sure.
And that was the end of hiring bands because, you know, you could have a DJ and it was cheaper and they play everything. Only we defied the odds. And we simply found a guy like you at 17 years old or 18, invited you along to the gig with your cassettes and your 45s and had you DJ. And so those songs, Staying Alive and How Deep Is Your Love, those were the first songs we DJ'd. And we ended up with a suitcase full of hundreds of 45s and cassettes and eventually CDs. And then, you know, what we have now. And that's how we survived. And we played another two or 3,000 gigs after that. But that was a slow dance. Do you remember slow dances?
Sure,
They don't do that anymore.
They don't do slow dance?
I mean, they do it at weddings and parties and stuff, but at high school dances, you don't ask someone to dance. You stand around in a circle, and everybody dances to everybody, which is great. But there's no chance to ask, you know, someone special to dance. So it's a little different. It's a group effort.
Right.
Yeah. So go for it.
All right. After this one last time, it's kind of about the healing powers of water, specifically the Mississippi River here.
All right.
Take me down to the river mouth, stick my feet in the mud, let me feel the water rise, cleanse my spirit of the bad blood. Oh, there ain't no breaks in life. Oh, so you might as well just ride. Oh, ain't no breaks in life. Oh, so you might as well just ride. Feel the water deep inside. Feel the water deep inside. Take me down to the river mouth, stick my feet in the mud, let me feel the water rise, cleanse my spirit of the bad blood. Oh, there ain't no breaks in life. Oh, you might as well just ride. Oh, there ain't no breaks in life. Oh, so you might as well just ride. Feel the water deep inside. Feel the water deep inside.
Very nice. Sweet song. I wanted to sing along, and I did sing along. That's why I went off screen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful song. I want to say a flashback. Tonight is flashback night. I'm in a nostalgic mood. I was thinking about my brother's band that used to. I was a violinist, so I didn't get to be in a band when I was a teenager. But my brother had a band out in what was called our rumpus room. It's a little room my dad built outside, and every once in a while, my dad would go out there and shut off the power because they had those little Fender amps and blasting it out, and that kind of fuzz, staticky sound that went away because of refinement.
Yeah.
And it's like just like the transition from the old records to the newer records to the tapes to the CDs, and finally the edge is gone. And so I was just thinking in terms of this environment, and you and I and all the other musicians trying to figure out the best way with our limited budgets to broadcast and make things sound beautiful. And I was just thinking that that there was an edge on some of that electric guitar that reminded me of those old Fender amps that had like maybe 20, 30, 40 years on them already. And my stepson Jacob, who lives up in Juneau, Alaska, he always comments on he loves the edge. My daughter listens only to LPs, only to vinyl. So I love that, and I just want to make a little plug for Ian because all musicians are into gear, and anything you can contribute to tonight, I'm sure will be appreciated. When you're a working musician, and that's what you do for your livelihood. You got to have gear, and I'm proud to say, Ian, that I have every adapter cord known to music, because every time I was trying to do set up this whole thing, I would have to order another cord, so this one and that one. I found out, boy, the adapter business is booming. And so I especially appreciate that you, and now, by the way, we've had this show every week since you were on and before, and we're booked up through the summer with a few openings, and I love it, and I'm doing it because I want to do it,
Yeah.
and so grateful to the musicians. I'm thinking of renaming it the common person's American Idol, because hey, there's a lot of us out there.
Yeah.
And so in that, I want to ask you a question about your there's something called the pleasure principle. I learned about it in psychology, and it's kind of like, I get a feeling that you kind of have a low pleasure principle, which is to say, you're very grateful for what you have in the moment and for what you've been given. And I think you're a happy guy.
Yeah, I think for the most part. I think definitely, like with music, uh, like getting lost in a song, like that's, a top three thing that makes me happy. So,
Of course,
uh,
it's I
so
call it healthy self-medication.
yeah, definitely. I mean, it's especially if it's like a song I wrote or I really connect with, or specifically if it's an original song and I can get lost in it and people are listening or something. It's I mean, that's my pretty much my happy place.
I love it, and I'm a fan. And I'm not only a fan of your music, but I'm a fan of um, your your what you do with it, and that you're doing this with your life. And actually, I'm gonna probably twist your arm sometime to come on to one of my teen hovering evenings
Sure.
and share with my kids, because there's a lot of teenagers right now that are pretty lost
Sure.
um, around the issue of passion, and we got to shake them up
Yeah,
and inspire them that they get to do what they want to do if they want to do it bad enough.
it's true.
So, love to have another song. I just spoke with your mom on the chat there, and
Oh,
it's great to see her. You got a good mom.
cool.
Our moms are very important to us.
Yeah, they are. All right, I'm gonna do another cover. Here we go. This is one I've never done live before. So
All right.
let's see if I can get this intro down. I met my old lover on the street last night. She seemed so glad to see me. I just smiled. And we talked about some old times, and we drank ourselves some beers. Still crazy after all these years. Oh, still crazy after all these years. I'm not the kind of man who tends to socialize, but I seem to lean on old familiar ways. And I ain't no fool for love songs that whisper in my ear. Still crazy after all these years. Oh, still crazy after all these years. 4 in the morning, crapped out, yawning, longing my life away. I'll never worry Now I sit by my window when I watch the parks. I fear I'll do some damage on a fine day, but I would not be convicted by jury of my peers. Still crazy after all these years. Oh, still crazy. Still crazy. Still crazy. Still crazy. Still crazy after all these years. Oh, still crazy after all these years.
So nice, so sweet. You know, Paul Simon's no spring chicken.
Yeah.
And he can't really get those notes anymore. And I
Yeah.
think he's done his final tour.
I
And
think.
so, yeah. Yeah. And so I think it's really awesome to keep those tunes alive,
Yeah.
especially for someone of that stature. And I'll tell you what, Ian, I must be I must be clairvoyant because now my mom's here watching you, and she's sending you a hug
Oh.
just below your mom's hug. Our moms are very proud of us, and I always tell boys I do coaching, you know, a little counseling coaching, not therapeutic, but just
Yeah.
surrogate uncle. And one of my lines is boys who are abusive to their moms never become men. And so, because there's a lot of boys that really talk pretty nasty to their moms, and in general, their moms don't deserve it, and their moms have their backs. So I'm just a big mom fan, and I'm grateful my mom's uh, savvy enough to be on here tonight. And I just saw her a day ago. I was in San Diego this morning, and in
Oh,
LA, seeing my mom in Orange County, and we had a really blessed day together. And so sending love out to my mom
yeah.
and to all those moms, definitely. Um, just I'm wanting to hear your music.
Cool. All right. This next one is another sort of St. Louis song.
Do you want to tell us about? Do you want to endorse a capo? You know, we do endorsements on Rick's Coffee
Sure.
House.
Well,
You love your capo?
this one I especially like because I found it today, and it was there. I actually was looking. Usually I use shoved capos because I like.
Shub. He's from Sebastopol.
I know, yeah, it's awesome.
Have you ever had this experience where you can't find your capo, so you finally break down and buy a new one, and then you find it?
Oh yeah, there's about 5 of them.
Yeah, I've got that too. I like the Shub.
But I like the shove. But this is a Kaiser capo, and
Yeah.
I would say like I don't know, probably 5 out of 6 of them uh, are too tight. But
Uh-huh.
this one I've kept forever, and it has like it doesn't make your guitar go too out of tune, you know.
Right.
Um, so I like this Kaiser capo, but
Nice. My Shub capo that I'd had for about 20 years blew up one
oh,
day. It just came unassembled completely.
sure.
No deference to Shub. Great guy, but that one went down.
Okay. Oh, I was about to use this capo. This one's called "Summer in the Lou."
All right.
Stand It's summer in the Loop. 106 degrees will bring you to your knees. There's a river in the sky, and I'm feeling so alive. Well, it's the cold embrace of a rain-soaked face might make you lose control. Faces floating high, smiling as they pass by. Tonight, mother singing, this ain't the end, no, it's just the beginning. It's the cold embrace of a rain-soaked face might make you lose control. But it's the cold embrace of a rain-soaked face and might make you lose control.
Love that.
Yeah.
Very, very sweet. And I know you're not a sort of a pop rapper kind of contemporary guy in the sense of what's happening, in that genre. And I know that when you write pop songs or any kind of songs, there is a hook.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about hooks? Because maybe some of the folks listening don't know what that is, but it's worth it's worth hearing about.
Yeah, it's people call them different things: the hook, the chorus, the refrain. There's all sorts of words to use for it. But basically, it's just something that you can. For me, and this is how I try to write music. When I write a hook, I want it to be something that you can hear like once or twice, and then you could just sing along. Which kind of for me comes out of some very different areas of like music that I like to listen to and songwriters that I like. So, like if you listen to like the really big Beatles pop songs, like the really big hits, like like those songs you can just sing along with so fast after you hear them for the first time, but still have meaning and still have like a depth to it. So it comes from like stuff like the Beatles or even like I'm trying to think of a good example. My dad used to have me listen to a lot of early '60s like girl groups and like pop music from that time, like, and they always had like really good choruses, um, or refrains or hooks or whatever, and and then also like in high school, like going to like punk shows and stuff. Like if you were at like a hardcore show, there'd be people. There's always like a hook, and it might just be like 4 words, but like the power of 100 people screaming 4 words over and over while there's crazy guitars going on and stuff was like, it's such a cool moment, that it's you want like. So for me, I like the idea of people singing along, even if there's like the Grateful Dead too is another good example. Like they're jam bands, like they all have songs go on for 20 or 30 minutes, but when it comes back to the words, everyone knows the words, you know, and especially like the choruses and stuff.
So true. And I have a song like that too. We all do have a couple of songs that people do that song and hear you sing along.
Yeah,
I wanted to share that I have a friend who is who's done some movie producing and writes novels and books and whatnot. And he decided that he wanted to write a story about my music partner and I. And so over a period of about a year and a half, he interviewed me, and I told him stories about Ron and I and all of our 3,500 gigs. And he wrote a book and it based it on a song I wrote called One Last Song.
sure.
And the concept is a dual thing. One is that when we lose someone, we'd give anything to just have one last song with them, or one last conversation, or one last visit. And the other theme is about musicians who who make it but don't make it. Like is fame the quotient for making it?
Sure.
And so the book is called One Last Song, and it's by Paul Foley, and it's on Amazon. I'm glad to send you a copy, actually. But if anybody's interested in reading it, it's loosely based on very loosely based on our story. Um,
Right.
but of course, artists and writers privilege. So
Yeah.
that happens with songs. You start writing a love song and it turns into a breaking up song, and then you're telling your girlfriend or your wife, "This is not about you. It just turned into a breaking up song, but this is not about you." And that's kind of how, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, and meanwhile, right there, Venmo at Ian Lubar, PayPal ilubar at yahoo.com is where, if you're listening, you can donate. And now, Ian, I have to share this. Your mom, sorry, mom wants to know if you'll do a song that starts with a P, and you don't have to.
Starts
Is it a
with
riddle? Ask Ian to play my favorite song that starts with a P. We don't have to do our mom's request. Okay, you're baffled.
hey mom, text me.
I love this. I love that we can do this. She can also just let me know what it is, but there's something very clandestine about starting with a P. Do you know what song it is?
I can't remember what she's thinking.
Okay, well, let's just go on. Give us another song, and we'll
Sure. This
dear.
called this is another newer original one. It's called Crystal Morning Dew.
Okay.
It's the moon when you hear that howling. It's the kind of thing you love to see. When you're wrapped in a summer blanket, yeah, there's no place I'd rather be. Watch the tides, they're pushing and pulling, and the tide, it's getting slow. Yeah, I know this world can be wicked, but in these moments I let it go. I let it go. These are the times that I live for. These are the times that I breathe. These are the moments I cling to. The moments that never leave. These These are the times that I live for. These are the times that I breathe. These are the moments that we knew, the moments that never leave. Open the window for a breezy sunset. Even the colors make sense to me. Watch the glow on the back of my eyelids. It's that peace that helps me sleep. Yeah, we're spinning in a world so frightened, but there's one thing that helps us through. Like the salty wind of the ocean and that crystal morning dew. These are the times that I live for. These are the times that I breathe. These are the moments I cling to, the moments that never leave. These are the times that I live for. These are the times that I breathe. These are the moments I cling to, the moments that never leave. These are the times that I live for. These are the times that I breathe. These are the moments I cling to, the moments that never leave.
So nice. Is that one available on recorded? Is that one
No,
recorded?
a very, very new one. So I'm still trying to like work out some kinks and stuff, but
Of course.
the
That's a
way,
beautiful song.
yeah, I like to like after I write the songs before like really recording them. Usually in normal circumstances, I'll like gig out on them for a year, you know, and then like as I perform them more and more and more, it kind of smooths over, and then also like then when you can record it, you don't have to be thinking about anything but the actual musical part of everything. You don't have to remember the words. You don't have to, you know, it just hopefully it just goes. So
I like that. One last song has about 40 rewrites.
yeah, definitely.
Sometimes I can't even remember which is. I have to date them because otherwise I don't have the latest version. I hear you on that.
Yeah.
That's a pretty song. What do you call that song?
It's called Crystal Morning Dew.
So this is the only recording I have of it.
I think I played that on the last one too.
Good. Well, I'll tell you what I used to say to my music partner Ron. May his memory be for a blessing. Is Ron? I'm a music partner, colleague, but I'm a fan. So I'm a fan. Wow, those are some really pretty songs.
Thank you, thank you.
Really
Well,
pretty. The song your mom was saying is called "Dear Prudence."
yeah, the Beatles song.
Which Oh, okay, she loves that. You don't have to do it though. I mean, we don't have to do what our moms say, even at this age.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm going to.
there's a price. There's a price to pay, and plus, isn't it Mother's Day this Sunday?
It is.
Okay, you got to do it.
I get to see her. I haven't hugged her since March of last year, so she's coming down and staying because she lives about 4 hours north of St. Louis.
Okay, yeah,
And
I hugged. Yeah,
she's coming down to stay with Caitlin and I this weekend.
so nice. I hugged my mom several times
Sure.
recently.
Yeah.
Thank God. All
Um,
right, Danielle, you got your way. Daniela.
yeah. Here we go. This one's for you. Happy early Mother's Day. Dear Prudence, won't you come out to play? Oh, dear Prudence, greet a brand new day. The sun is up and the sky is blue. It's beautiful and so are you, dear Prudence. Won't you come out to play? Oh, dear Prudence, well, open up your eyes. Oh, dear Prudence, see the sunny skies. The wind will blow and the birds will sing. You are part of everything, dear Prudence. Won't you come on to play? Look around, round, 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 round. Look around, round, look around. Oh, dear Prudence, let me see you smile. Oh, dear Prudence, like a little child. And then we'll make a daisy chain. So let me see you smile again, dear Prudence. Won't you let me see you smile? Oh, can't hear you, Rick.
It's got, there's imperfection in perfection.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know about that. So I want to say a couple of my little life mottos, and then maybe you can take it on out with the song.
Yeah.
And then we will have you again. It's so comfortable. I feel like I'm just sitting in your living room there, and I appreciate you so much. So the world, a better world, a really better world. The road to a better world is paved with three things: better parenting, better teaching, and intergenerational collaboration. And I love to spend time with students, former students, as Ian is, who become colleagues. And it's beshert, which means it's meant to be that we come back together. You're a mensch, a good guy.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ian. We scratch each other's backs. The other thing I want to say is my little 3-word motto that I actually said it somewhere, and someone said, can I make a bumper sticker out of that? And I gave it away. So I'll say it here. 3 words. Default to nice. That's my motto for people. Just start out nice. If you got to roar, you can roar, but default to nice. That should be your search engine. So Ian Lubar, feel free to send him a little token of your appreciation. We will see you on here again, and I hope to have you live one time. Ian, take it on out, and thank you very much for being with us tonight on Rick Concoff's Coffee House.
Shut your eyes, let's sleep. Goodbye to your day of worry and feeling incomplete. May your dreams be filled with shooting stars and falling leaves, the memories of the ones you've loved and lost, a peaceful sleep. May you find a bed that helps you find a place from thoughts of dread inside your head, and the feelings of inadequacy dripping off your soul. Your life's out of control, but at least there's sleep, and at least there's peace. And oh, turn back the clock, forget the years of struggle. And oh, sometimes you find your peace behind the curtain. We're all hurting for a little rest. May you find some rest, wrapped in silver starlight and no feelings of regret, lying in your bed next to your lover and your pet, a comfort and a peace surrounding you, so rest your head. And oh, turn back the clock, forget the years of struggle. And oh, sometimes you find your peace behind the curtain. We're all hurting. And oh, turn back the clock, forget the years of struggle. And oh, sometimes you find your peace behind the curtain. We're all hurting for a little rest.
Ian, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah. Thanks for
having me. Have a good week. Thank you all for watching. Whoever you are out there, we don't find out till later.
Thanks.
And yeah, you got it. All right.
All right.
All right.